Raise your hand if you believe that the earth is a sphere. Do you honestly, from your heart know anything about it? Or do you believe it because you've been taught it since you were a child? In the same way we're taught evolution from childhood, but if gravity is strong enough to hold in trillions of tons of water to the earth, but a balloon can fly, a bird can leave the earth at any point, you don't have to feel like you're being pulled down at every second, but trillions of tons of water are held to the earth. Isaac Newton, got hit on the head with an apple. That was because the apple was more dense than the air. And he got hit. If he was in water, that apple would have stopped right on the water. Why is the apple not going through the water if it's gravity pulling it down to the center? You have to believe in the Big Bang to believe that the earth is a sphere. You don't get to pick. The government has always known that the earth is flat. It lies to us through TV, through the media, through movies. It makes you believe the world is a spinning ball hurtling through space like a marble. When you realize that the earth is flat, you start to see the Bible a lot more literally. The sun and the moon being within the firmament will make a lot more sense when we start going over how the sun and the moon circulate the earth, not the other way around. The pictures that you see of space, the pictures that you see of all these planets and all these galaxies, NASA has admitted that they're all fake. They're CGI. I'm going to show you that the earth is flat according to scripture, not a spinning ball. They say there's infinite amount of stars in the universe. And if there was an infinite amount of stars in the universe, you would only see light when you looked up. And if that was true, you would see nothing but light. Everywhere. There would be no spot, there would be no light. But if you're traveling through space at 515,000 miles an hour, around the sun at 1,000 miles an hour, why are you seeing the same stars every single year at the same exact time? Why would God create a tiny little earth and make you one of a billion? Everything he does has purpose. The sun has a purpose. The moon has a purpose. Stars have purposes. Why would he make millions of galaxies and make you nothing? They want you to believe a lie so that you don't believe in God. Right. Do you know how many more people will believe in God if you knew you lived on a flat earth and that you knew God was right above you? Literally right above you. But every eye will see him when the heavens depart and he comes straight down. It's just more recently where they could easily plague us from the newspapers, from movies and TVs, that everybody just believes a lie from birth. Even half the pastors in this movement have a big globe as their background. They don't even realize they're perpetuating a lie. You might as well just show the evolution of monkeys to man all the way down the whole way, because you're just pushing a lie. The reason the moon landing was faked is because you can't land on a light. And the sun is shining on the earth, but it forgot to shine on the moon. This was released to the public. There would be light here if the sun was behind it. This should be illuminated. It's darkened because it's fake. But actually the real science proves the earth is flat. Earth is a circle, not a sphere. The earth is fixed and not rotating. The earth is a flat surface. The earth has ends, which I'll go over. And the sun moves, not the earth. And I have verses that prove that without a doubt. What was the earth rotating around before God created the sun? It wasn't rotating around anything because he created the earth first. Created the earth, the firmament, and then he put the lights in it. And I just wanted to show you that before we get into the circle of the earth. So you just have a general idea that God created the earth first, and then the sun and the moon. It just wouldn't make sense. Why wouldn't he create the sun first and then the earth and have the earth spin around the sun? If God is sitting upon the circle of the earth, he's sitting up here. Remember, we talked about God being above the firmament. He's sitting upon the circle of the earth and looking down, and the inhabitants thereof are as grasshoppers, looking down at the circle, us as grasshoppers. We're as grasshoppers to him. On the spinning ball earth, he's looking down and things are just spinning in front of his face. Things are just going everywhere, and things are more relative and literal in the Bible. He is literally looking down upon us. This is a tent. The heavens are as a tent, and it says to dwell in. You wouldn't put a tent on a ball. You would wrap a blanket around a ball, or you would do something else around a ball. But a tent is something that you set pillars and you establish it, and then everything else is within it. I want to show you that the earth is in a fixed position. It is not rotating around the sun. It is not spinning through the galaxy. It is not being just propelled into nothingness. It's in a fixed position. Therefore, I will shake the heavens. In order to shake something, it's usually stationary, right? I will shake the heavens, and the earth shall remove out of her place. So her place is showing that the earth has a place, a position, a space, that it is set. In the rotating earth, where it's just going everywhere and it's going through space and it's traveling around the sun, which is traveling around the galaxy, there's no fixed place for earth. The earth has a purpose. It was made to be inhabited by us. The sun has a purpose. It is made to give light upon the earth. The moon has a purpose. So everything God created has a purpose. He formed the earth for a reason, for it to be inhabited. Why would he create a vast expanse of billions of galaxies, billions of other planets, billions of other stars if they have no purpose? Because they don't have a purpose. They have no purpose if you believe that there's billions of other galaxies, billions of other stars, billions of other planets. Those things were created by science to deceive you, to make it seem like there could be other life out there. To make it seem like God did not make us personal, but he formed the earth for a reason, so it would be inhabited by us as people. Nothing is vainly created. He said he created it not in vain. Vain, it just means vanity. So if something's created in vain, it doesn't have a purpose. It's useless. In the same way that other planets, other galaxies, other stars, millions of light years away, they're useless. They're vanity. They're created in vain for no reason. The earth, the flat earth system, everything in our system has a purpose. The sea has purpose, the land has purpose, the firmament itself has purpose, the sun and the moon and the stars within it have purpose. Other galaxies are they would be vanity. They would be created in vain. There's no purpose to them. It is the Lord that is keeping the earth stationary. When you think of pillars, you think of something that's established. You think of something that is, you would use pillars to hold up a building. And a building is not something that's constantly in motion. You wouldn't use pillars to hold up a car. You wouldn't use pillars to hold up an airplane. You use pillars to hold up something that's established, something that's stationary. This is at sea level, and there's a reason it's called sea level, because it's level. The sea is not curving, it's level completely throughout the world. So this is at sea level. You see that the horizon is flat. Why is it flat? As no matter where you go, no matter how high you go up on the earth, that's why that balloon is not going up or down, because the density of the balloon plus the helium match the density of the air. So it's not going up or down, it's just staying perfectly at equilibrium. That doesn't work on gravity. It should be pulling it down no matter what. It doesn't matter how much it weighs. Antarctica as a scientific preserve. What is in Antarctica that needs to be a preserve? Like, what are you preserving? The ice? If you just fly to Antarctica, you just don't let anybody know, you're just like, I'm gonna fly to Antarctica, they'll shoot you down. Or they'll race you down if you don't stop. Because you're gonna figure out that there's an end of the earth. You'll figure that out. They don't want us to know that. So the reason for this Antarctic Treaty System is so that the information never gets out that there's an end to the earth. They don't want you to know that. They don't want you to see that the world has ends. Is the sun with clouds in front of it, but also clouds behind it. You see those clouds behind the sun? Do you know why that is? It's because the sun is rotating around the earth, not outside of the earth. There's no clouds in space. It's because the sun is traveling within the firmament, and they lied to you telling you it's 93,000 miles away. A circuit of the sun is describing the sun moving in a circuit, not us moving around the sun. Why preach on this subject? Why did I preach a sermon on the flat earth? Because it's a big lie. It's a huge lie to believe that you're on a globe and you're meaningless. The whole purpose of this lie is so that you feel like there's no God. Yeah. It's so that you feel unimportant. Right. It's so that you feel you can get away with anything if nobody's watching you. But if God is right above you, and He's looking down upon you like a grasshopper, He's watching your every move physically. He's watching you, and He cares about you. Remember, the earth was created to be inhabited. He cares about you if He's above you. He cares about you if you're all He created. You know, if the earth is the one thing, the earth is the one system, that's what matters. Then the earth becomes a big deal. But if the earth is just some dot, a small dot, in the midst of a huge galaxy, in the midst of billions of other galaxies, then you're nothing. Then who knows? There could be life forms elsewhere. There could have been a Big Bang. There could have been evolution. All these theories are based upon this big lie. And when you look at the Bible, I think it's pretty clear that God created us for a reason. And He created the earth for a reason. And it is the main deal, the big thing. The world is sinful. The world wants to believe that there is no God, because they don't want their deeds to be made manifest. They don't want their deeds to be known. They don't want people to rebuke them for fornicating. They don't want people to rebuke them for sinning. They don't want to believe in a God, so they make Him very far away. They make Him billions of light years away. They make Him billions of galaxies away. If you believe you're in a solar system, then you got billions of light years until anything. But if you believe you're in the flat earth system, God is right above you. He's right there, and He's looking down upon you because He cares about you. I mean, He cares about us. And that's why Jesus came down. That's why He ascended back up. Why would Jesus have to ascend if we were a spinning ball in a huge galaxy in some crazy universe? He would just have to go poof and disappear. Because ascending would do nothing. He would go into some vacuum in space. He would go into some place that didn't matter. He ascended up because God's throne is above us. So the reason that people make the sun and the moon and all these galaxies so important is because they don't want to worship God. They want to worship the host of heaven. They want to worship their own God. They want to worship anything that they can create. So when the sun becomes the center of your universe, and when the sun becomes the center of what you believe, your mind isn't focused on God. It's focused on the things He created.